What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Hopefully you're all having a good start to the week. It is November 18th, 2024. I'm supposed to have hopefully Danny Espinosa on the show this morning. So how's everybody doing today? Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And hit those heart emojis down there at the bottom. Let's continue growing this channel out, folks. Let's get this channel to 1,200. Of course, the big goal is 2,000 subs. Love to get there as soon as possible. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hopefully you're all doing well. Like I said, we're going to have Danny Espinosa on the show. And while we're waiting for him, the Yankees are supposed to meet with Juan Soto today. Also, there was a report on Twitter that came out saying that the Dodgers and the Cardinals are leading candidates to sign Corbin Burnes, but of course we don't know which team will sign him, but we'll find that out soon enough. And also, there was a report that said that the Mets supposedly they offered $660 million, but let's hold that thought. I got our special guest in the back. Think he's ready to go. If you're ready to go, man, just give me a thumbs up. I'll bring you up. Awesome. What's going on, Danny? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm digging the beard. I like the beard.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like the beard. But how's your day going, man? How are you?
Good. Came from Vegas last night. Drove into my to my ranch out here in Colorado. Hunting season starts in a couple days, so getting ready to get some hunting in and spend Thanksgiving out here with my family and have my kids and my wife kind of come join us, and then in a good place.
Cool, man. Yeah, I live in Colorado.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Where at?
I'm 20 minutes north of Denver, which is a city called Thornton.
Yeah, I'm down in the Four Corners, down in Cortes.
Yeah, you're down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little far. You're a little far away from me, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hunting season. I know that's the season right now. I actually had a friend that he should be back today. He went all hunting last week. I don't know if he caught anything, but we'll see. I got a few buddies that actually go hunting, and they'll hook me up with either elk meat or deer meat or whatever. So it's great.
Very nice.
It's good stuff. Yeah, man. It's good stuff. So hopefully you find some good.
Yeah, hopefully. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. But how's life outside of baseball going? I mean, what are you up to these days, man?
I retired and thought immediately I'd be okay without having baseball every day, and I could just coach my kids and kind of hang out and train my horses and just hunt and do some small project stuff, stuff like that. And immediately I realized without a purpose in my life, I realized real quick there's kind of no purpose to be here unless I have a purpose. And my purpose, I think, when I retired was to help kids, within the line of life that I knew, and that was baseball. So a friend of mine, a couple friends and I, we opened up a nonprofit. It's a baseball organization. We now have almost 190 kids that play for us. We try to keep it to where we have a great family environment, and we develop kids, and we don't cut kids. We don't, remove kids from teams. We try to keep them to where we actually get to spend a few years with them, developing them. And it's gone really well. We've won some good big championships and throughout all of our levels. And I guess I've found my purpose in that. And I help out with athletic school, which we focus on the baseball side of stuff, but it's a multi-sport athletic school where it's for kids up to eighth grade repeat, that they are sports specific, and they do all their training, their custom eating. They do everything with us at school, in-house, to try to develop these kids to make them better.
That's awesome. Yeah. With that being said, this nonprofit that you all built, Is this just trying to bring baseball to more communities and just trying to get, kids more involved in sports and whatnot? Or what's the, I know the,
I mean, that's not my main goal. What kind of got me going on this whole thing was I couldn't take one more person on YouTube and social media trying to teach swings and teach baseball that have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm watching all this stuff and I'm just going, God, these poor families and these kids are just being misled just down, an alley of almost looks like failure to me. I know personally I wouldn't go hire an attorney who didn't pass the bar and, actually practice. So for me, it's not that you have to have played to teach to be the best teacher, but I feel like there needs to be somewhat of a background. And if you're going to put out what, people are saying and try to give kids knowledge on the game, then I feel like there's got to be something behind it. Just as, anything else you would hire in life, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't hire a doctor that didn't go to medical school. So that was kind of my thought, and we started and we helped kids out and families out. Some that can't afford it, some that when you get the travel ball, it gets real expensive. So I think we've done a really good job. In a year and a half, we went from basically 3 teams to 16 teams, and we've done really well. So I'm very happy with where we're at.
yeah, no, that's fantastic. And yeah, you're right. If you go on YouTube video, you go on YouTube and you listen to a lot of these so-called experts, and they're just like, hey, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. It's like,
right.
Sometimes you have to, yeah. I mean, there is always a question, and yeah, you're not gonna just hire somebody with who has zero background. I mean, I'm with you on that one. That is funny though. I'm sure you've gotten so frustrated watching so many videos of people teaching baseball swings or pitches or whatever the case may be, or how to field the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of the reason why I don't watch a lot of this stuff anymore, because I'm like, there's so much crap out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much crap. I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time watching this just to be like, this guy has no clue what he's talking about. It's just, I don't want to even watch it anymore. So, for me and my kids, we go to the games live. We live right next to Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been the greatest few years, but it's games that we get to go to and see big leaguers play, and we get to move around the field a lot and sit where we want, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I know the Angels haven't been the greatest. I understand. I mean, it's been disappointing, especially with Mike Trout getting hurt. The guy is always hurt, which is unfortunate because he's such a great ball player. But It seems like they've made a few moves this offseason so far. It seems like they're trying to get something going. I know you're a California native. Did you grow up an Angels fan?
Yeah, I grew up right down the street, so that was was our team.
Yeah.
Always liked the Dodgers as well. I can't ever say that I was like just a one team fan. I was just a fan of baseball. I enjoyed watching individual players. I enjoyed watching a lot of teams. But I grew up down the street, so I was naturally an Angels fan. Growing up, and Gary DiSarcina was our shortstop, and Jim Edmonds, all those guys that were there, and I enjoyed that team. I think that they got some work to do, obviously, but it's a good organization, and they just need to get things back in line. And I think that you couldn't ask for a better place in the United States to play than Southern California.
I mean, the weather's always nice. It's always sunny.
Yep.
Yeah. If you could make a living there, I mean, yeah, it's not really a bad place to live if you can ignore a lot of some of the bad stuff, right? But I've been to California. I'm not gonna lie, Southern California, the weather is nice. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
There's no denying that sunshine all the time. I mean, it's definitely not a bad place to live. Was there was there a player that you grew up, I want to say idolizing or wanted to be like that got you into the sport of baseball, or?
I think it went back before, obviously I didn't get to watch him play, but my dad was such a big fan of Mickey Mantle, and I think that's why I was a switch hitter.
Ah,
Um, and as a kid, I used to watch old films of him that we'd have, or little flip books of his swing. Um, but as far as growing up watching guys that I got to watch play, I would say, I mean, a guy. It's funny that there's probably three guys that I really think about that kind of created the love for baseball for me. Alex Rodriguez, loved him, unbelievable shortstop, guy I looked up to. Jay Buhner, who was a guy that was just a gritty pine tar on the back. I loved how he wanted to run everybody over and just do whatever he had to do, hit bombs. I loved him. But probably the guy I looked up to the most was Omar Vizquel.
yeah,
That was the
yeah.
guy that when Cleveland came into town, I got to go to those games. I got to see Omar Vizquel play. My dad had season tickets. So whenever Cleveland came in, I got that treat and I get to go. And I wouldn't miss the games for Omar Vizquel. But that was the one. He was the guy that I wanted to be like. And then during my playing career, when he retired and became a coach for Detroit, I had Rawlings remake his Gold Glove insignia, his insignia Gold Glove, and I had to get permission from him, and then he signed and customized a custom signature glove to me. So that's like my prized possession at my house.
Nice, nice. Well,
Yeah.
Vizquel was a good player, man. That guy was an excellent player, especially
Yeah.
with that infield when you had him and Roberto Alomar playing together.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we have Robbie up there. Yeah, that was a heck of a middle infield. I don't think there was too much getting by that middle infield.
no,
No.
yeah, hey, yeah. Anytime you play against them, I'm like, yeah, here comes. You're gonna play some good defense on this team, so
Oh
be
yeah.
ready.
Oh yeah.
But you have played. You were in Major League Baseball for a little while there, and you've played on several different organizations.
Mhm.
Was there one organization that you like playing the best? Like you playing for more than the others, or what was the experience like on a lot of those teams that you played for? Because you were with the Angels. You were with I think you were drafted by the Nationals, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
You were with Seattle, Tampa Bay. You had some stints with the Dodgers. You want to also played in the Mexican League too.
Correct.
So what was it like all across the board for you
Well,
during
I was,
your career?
I mean, I was drafted by the Nationals, and I got to the big leagues really quick with them, and I spent 8 years in the big leagues with them. So that for me, spending that amount of time in the big leagues, obviously is a dream come true to be able to have to spend that much time in the big leagues, and then the guys that were on that team that formed who I was and who I became. The older guys that when I was a young kid that taught us how to play the game the right way and taught us how to go about things the right way. The hard nosed baseball, which I don't think you see. It's not disrespect. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guys that play now, but like that's just that style of baseball's gone. I was fortunate enough to play with guys that were a part of that last era, with Ivan Rodriguez and Matt Stairs and Jason Worth and Levon Hernandez, guys that came, Jason Marquis, guys that came from a different era. And I played with Alex Cora, who's managing right now. I played with the era of guys who played in a much tougher era, and they taught that to me. And I'm forever grateful because that's how I enjoyed baseball. Um, so I would say the Nationals is by far the best place I played. I enjoyed the Mets organization a lot. Um, I thought they treated me very well. I thought the organization was run well. Um, but that's who I spent the most time with. Playing in Mexico was fun. I would say the biggest thing about going to Mexico is being able to get on that national team, get my citizenship, have dual citizenship done there, and then play for them in the Olympics, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That was a dream come true for me. So yeah, it was overall though. I would say yeah, Washington by far. Washington, the way they ran everything, from our clubhouse staff to our chef to front office. It was a very very good organization. I have nothing good but good things to say about that organization.
That's awesome. Good, good, good. No, like I said, I know every player, there's a lot of players that played on several different teams, and I know each organization is a little different. So, you always hear about the players that, didn't have a great experience with one team, but they had a great experience with this team. And so,
Right.
I was just more or less curious, if how all these teams treated you, and it sounded like they treated you quite well. So it's always good to hear that, that the organization does take care of their players. Now, you talked about, baseball not being the game that it once was, and I am in agreement with you on that. The sport, the game has changed so much. How do you feel about how the game has changed and with all these rules and now there's the pitch clock, the extra runner on base, the ghost runner on second base if they go to extra innings. There's been a lot of rule changes within the last like 4 or 5 years. I mean, are you disappointed with how the game is going?
Yeah, I think certain organizations have taken advantage of the replay stuff, and it was never intended to be that way. They want to check every little thing. If the guy's foot was on the base, was he, just little things that in baseball, like, you know, you wouldn't think about. You weren't, good teams beat good teams, but teams that have to try to create stuff and use all this stuff to an advantage to try to win, that's not what it was intended for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, they'll check every single play, and I think that gets old. That's what slowed the game down. Replay in general slowed the game down. It was originally put in just for the home run. Um, and I think that's fine with the home run, something like that. I think that's great. But to check every little thing, it's getting old. And now they're talking about being able to reverse strikes and balls, like, and you can challenge umpire. Like, all this crap is just like you're taking away the human element of it. That there's you watch now guys or rookies in their first year showing up umpires, and turning around, throwing their hands up. That was something that you never did because you would never get a good call. You had to earn the respect of the umpires. And you had to wear it as a young guy, right or wrong. That was the way it was. Um, that's gone. You can't slide in hard to second base anymore. Like, that's gone. Can certain slides go too far? 100%. But now you have guys running through the base to try to beat the play and potentially creating a really bad collision at second base and a guy trying to just catch a ball to end an inning or something like that. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff that people are just trying to change the way of the game. Like, this is America's pastime. Like, let it be that. Let it be that. Keep the politics out of this sport. Keep all the crap out of this sport. And let this be the beautiful sport that it is. This game never had a clock on it, and now we do. Like,
Yeah.
it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I hear you, and it's funny too, right? Because like the ideas of all these rules was supposed to like, with some of the rules, right? It was supposed to speed up the game, but I feel like these games are taking way longer than they need to.
All of this,
And
it all slowed it down.
yeah, big
I mean,
time.
people don't understand that how many innings that before they, we would sit there and we would wait for them to come back for a commercial. Like, that wasn't on us. We had pitchers that would get out there and get ready real quick, and we're waiting for them for 45 seconds to a minute every single inning, waiting for them to come back from commercial. So, to put it on the players because your commercials are too long, it's not our fault because you have an amount of advertising. I get it. It's a business, but like, this speed up version and you can't get out of the box and it's an automatic strike if you take too long. I mean, come on, this is just literally rules. Just let the game be the game.
Yeah, I in some ways it's like I understand you don't want pitchers and batters to waste so much time, but sometimes the thrill of it is nice because you remember when Nomar Garciaparra back in the day, he used to fix his gloves and then he steps in the batter's box. He takes like 10 or 11 steps and swings his bat to warm up. It built up that excitement. But now it's just like, they're trying to rush you. They're trying to get you going. They're just like, come on, let's go.
And they're so weird on certain stuff. Like they don't want that. That's trying to speed the clock up. But at the same time, they're promoting these massive bat flips. They're promoting these pimp jobs when the team's down by 8 runs and you hit a 2-run shot and you're pimping a home run and you got pitchers screaming at guys up by 10 runs, striking them out in a nothing situation. Like, what is going on? We were always taught when you hit a home run, when you strike someone, act like you've done it before. Act like you've been there before. You don't have to be emotionless, but like you shouldn't be bat flipping and pimping a home run down, on a nothing home run. You hit a walk off or something big for your team, go for it. Everyone understands that moment, right? But like it's getting too far, and now you can't pitch inside, and you can't hit guys, and it's automatic. You hit someone with a slider, and you're ejected. It's like, come on, dude, just let the game be the game. Someone hit someone on purpose, let it manage itself. Let the next guy on the other team get hit. Do it. It's part of the game.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't argue with you on that one, man. I really can't. Yeah, the game has changed a lot, and I've had a lot of guests on here with for whether it be current ball players, former ball players, and I'd say a lot of them are not really fans of these new rules. They're just not a fan of these new rules. Like some of them I talked to, they said that they can appreciate the like things like the pitch clock, but it seems like a lot of them that I've talked to, they don't like all these rules, and I feel like the rules now, it's so inconsistent. So umpires are more inconsistent than they ever used to be. And it's almost like they're making it too easy for Major League Baseball to now call the robots in to call the balls and strikes.
Well, it's sad because the umpires have a very hard job, right? And they expect that every single call to be perfect. Well, that's again goes back to the beauty of the game of you have, the human element in it. Like they want to take the human element out of everything. So for me, it's like just let the game be the game.
Yeah.
That we used to put. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, they used to play games under 3 hours all the time. They didn't have all this crap put in. It's all been slowed down through everything else.
Yeah, man. I think this spring training coming up in 2025, I think they're going to use the automated strike zone. I think they're going to supposedly test it out. They're not going to have it in play for 2025 for the season, but they're going to test it out during spring training. And they're gonna play it out, and then they're gonna get feedback from like the players, the front office of all the teams, and seeing how they feel about it. I don't know. I like you said, just taking the human element out of the game, it does take the fun out of the game. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to see like the human part of the game taken out. I know umpires have a tough job. I know some of their jobs are real difficult, even though some of those umpires, I will say, do a terrible.
Yeah, there's some tough ones, obviously.
Yeah, and so I take it with all these new things that are implemented into the sport. I take it I'm assuming you're probably not a big fan of like analytics either, right? Or how do you feel about analytics?
I think they have their place. I don't think you can be a pure analytic team. I think that there are analytics that 100% help the guys. I think you have to be able to look at it and take what you like and what helps you and be able to apply it, whether that's spin rate or whether it's defense to see alignments to see. I mean, I think there are things you can 100% look at. I like tendency charts. When I played tendency charts, when pitchers would get into certain counts, I don't know if they pitch as much that way anymore. They kind of pitch more to your weakness, and they bank on the fact that you swing out of the zone. And it's the guys. They play a different game now. But the analytics definitely have a place in the game. I don't think it should be purely analytics though, because there's no analytics for the human element or
Yeah,
pressure or
yeah,
anything else. So um, I think it definitely has its place. There's good to it, but it can't be the tell all be all.
yeah. I agree. I think there. I think sometimes there's too much analytics, and that coaches and organizations, they're not putting eyes on the game, because you got to put eyes on the game. You got to see what's going on, instead of just relying on an iPad and trying to translate that information to players. Because I feel like a lot of players now, since they have all these analytics right in front of them, right at their fingertips, I feel like they're overthinking too much when they're playing the game.
Yeah, I'm sure there's certain points where it's hey, it's this guy throws 3-2, throws 75% curveball or slider or whatever 3-2, and it's out of the zone. They're trying to get you to chase. Well, if that day it's not on, he's throwing 3-2 fastballs down the middle, and we're taking because we're all sitting on off speed. There has to be able to have that adjustment. Now they can make that adjustment, and players are smart enough to make that adjustment. I just don't think that you can be fully analytical. You have to be able to pick and choose. And I think the players in this era are smart enough, and they kind of came up with this system that they probably have learned what they like about analytics and what they don't like. So, with them coming up with that makes a big difference. Having been in the minor leagues probably with some of it and getting to the big leagues, they all know what they take, what they want to pick and choose and apply it to their game. And that's probably why some guys have, big success. And that's why pitchers have big success too, is because they've got more tendency charts on what guys can do and what they can't do. And, when they're going to swing and when they get over aggressive. So I think there's definitely good to it. It's just, maybe it should be a little limited.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, and again, agreed, man. You're hitting the nail on the head. So I mean, you're not making any wrong points here. I am in agreement with you on that. So you left the game like right when all this stuff was coming, right when all these rules were coming, and I'm sure in the back of your mind you're just like, thank God, like I'm not playing the game today. Thank God when I came into the game when I did, because the game was so much better when I played the game, instead of compared to obviously today.
I mean, the talent level right now, I mean, it's always been that way in the big leagues. There's always been a ton of talent, right? Always been tons of talent, whether it was 1915 or 1950 or 1980 or in the 2000s or today. There's been a ton of talent. It is
Sure.
fun to watch. It's been fun to watch these guys play. Um, do I wish I was still playing? Oh, the competitor in you always wants to play. But do I want to play with all the rules and all of the stuff and all of the what I was used to? And no, I don't know if that sounds fun. I wish it was somewhat of the same game. You have to adjust with the game and you have to change with the times of the game 100%. Um, but I think a big part of what was so awesome about playing was having this great clubhouse and everyone hanging out and having dinner together. And I think that's gone. I think that's one big thing that I would miss is the camaraderie with my teammates and my friends. Like, I don't know if that's alive in the game anymore. Um, and I think your good teams, I think like the Dodgers, I'm pretty sure that exists in their clubhouse, if I had to guess. Um, you know, I just feel that that has to stay in baseball, and that's a big part of baseball is the camaraderie in that clubhouse and how you go about things. Not sitting on my iPhone on Instagram with ear pods in and not talking to anybody for a whole day, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the style that we played when I was playing, I loved the game. Enjoyed competing against every single person, and
Oh, you could hear me?
yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you went like mute for a minute, so you're good.
Oh, no.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, and when I said, thank God you're not playing in the game. It's not even about the sport itself. It's because I was just more or less talking about the rules and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
And I'm sure you would have adapted. Maybe you wouldn't have been happy about it, but I'm sure you would have adapted and been, playing. Would have joined along the program, I guess, so to speak,
right,
right? But
right.
yeah, you were. I know you said you loved playing for, the Nationals were your favorite organization. Did you? Was there a teammate that you had that you got along with really well, that you had a good chemistry with? Because you talked about having that good chemistry, good camaraderie on the team, and I think that's important, especially in that type of culture. It's really important because you got to like the guys that you're playing with. And there's got to be somebody that you can rely on and talk to on whether it's on a professional level, personal level. Who was that guy for you?
Well, there was a lot of guys in that clubhouse. Fortunately, we we were real fortunate to have such a good group of guys, and I thought our clubhouse and our team was probably one of the most welcoming places to play. I mean, guys would come in, and I felt like our organization did a great job of welcoming those people and the new players. But I was with Ian Desmond for a very long time. I was
Mm-hmm.
with Ryan Zimmerman for a long time. I was with Jason Worth for a long time. Wilson Ramos, Adam LaRoche, um, Mikey Moe, Bryce Harper, all those guys I was with for a long time with Steven Strasburg and Drew Storn and Tyler Clipper. I mean, there's a lot of guys, to be honest.
Those are big names on that organization.
Yeah, and I would say the two guys that probably took care of me were Ryan Zimmerman and Jason Worth. Both guys that had a ton of big league service, veteran, big presence. We're always there to pat me on the back, but if I was doing something wrong too, we're also there to say, hey, this has to clean up. This you need to do this. This needs to be done. Those two guys for sure. I was very close with Ian Desmond. Him and I playing up the middle for 5 years together. But yeah, I would say those two guys, especially, were guys that were the older guys that watched over me.
Nice. Yeah, another big name that came through the Nationals organization. I know you never played with him, was obviously Juan Soto. Um, how do you? I'm just
Mhm.
curious. What are your thoughts on Juan Soto as a player?
Unbelievable talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable talent. Um, Really good eye, very disciplined approach. Uh, Man, I really don't see him swing outside of the zone too often. Um, he's become every single year he's become a better outfielder. But hitting wise, I feel like he gives you a really good at bat more often than he doesn't, and more often than I would say 99% of the league. I mean, I feel like he always gives you a quality at bat.
Yeah, he's a definitely a rare type. He's a rare player. I mean, he's right now a free agent, meeting with several teams right now. So
Right.
it's
He's
it's
a
a big
special
deal.
special player. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of those once in a lifetime players again. It's you see him every once in a while, and he's one. This is a guy that if he stays on what he does, this is a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember when he was with the Nationals. I mean, he won a World Series with them too. And I remember the Nationals offered him like an extension for $440 million. He turned it down, and I was just like,
Mhm.
"Whoa!" I was like, "All right." I was like, "This guy is truly betting on himself," and he clearly won. So
Yeah, I mean, 440 is 440. I don't care what day it is.
yeah,
Uh, but at the same time, you don't know everything. No one knows everything that was going on, or if he was happy, or if he was just where he was at, or if he wanted to be somewhere. I've heard multiple times how much he loves San Diego and how he wants to be in San Diego. I don't know if that has any weight to it at all, but you never know what it is. Could be your agent telling you, nope, we got to go to free agency. So never know what it is.
oh,
Um,
okay.
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay, yeah, you had cut out there for just a second. You're good.
Yeah. No, what I do know is that someone's going to be, organization's going to be very lucky to have him for a long time and have that guy producing in the middle of the lineup.
No doubt, no doubt, man. And somebody in the chat is asking you specifically, who had the most filthy pitches? Was it Steven Strasburg or Max Scherzer?
I don't know. Both of them on top of the game are borderline unhittable. Two completely different personalities, and they kind of pitch differently. Um, I feel like Max was very calculated with what he wanted to throw and when he wanted to throw it, and I feel like Strasburg was more of a go after you a little bit more. For me, when Strasburg was going really well, he was a guy that was like, "I'm going right after you. Here, good luck." I felt like Max has the same power stuff, right? Power fastball, power slider, power change. But I felt like he wasn't, all right. That was the guy for me that was like analytically knew what you couldn't hit and when you couldn't hit it and when you were like looking fastball or in swing mode. Like, so for me, he was very calculated on that stuff. And then you add his stuff into the mix with it, and it's just like, it's a terrible at bat.
Yeah, well, if I'm a baseball player and I have to go up against either one of those guys, I'm like, well, here goes nothing, because
Right.
you hate to go up against them because
That's
they were both
100%.
really good. So, yeah, I feel like both of them were filthy at the time. And Scherzer, I mean, pitching for as long as he did, I mean, both him and Verlander, right? Pitching till they were like 40, past 40,
Yeah.
is quite impressive, I must say, because you
Unbelievable
don't.
feat.
Yeah, because in the past, when pitchers, right, or players hit those, that was like the mid 30s. It's kind of like they at that point they're just like, all right, you know what? I think we're going to retire.
Right.
Um, body can't wear body can't handle it no more. So now with you coaching kids right now, do you ever get kids who coming up to you? Because there's a lot of influence on social media. Did they ever get influenced by anything on social media and come to you and be like, "Hey, coach, like, here's what I saw and here's what I want to do," or do you and your team like do it, try to teach them the way you were taught? Oh,
Yeah. So we don't use social media to. You good?
yeah, you're good. You kind of again, you cut out for like a couple seconds. You're good though.
Okay. Yeah. So we don't use social media to teach. What we do is I have guys in the organization that played, and I have a lot of dads that are volunteers that coach as well that played some college ball, and I try to work with every single team. Um, I get to see a decent amount of them weekly, and I try to get to the other ones, as much as I can. And it's funny, I can always tell when the kids watch some YouTube special on infield or something, and it's just, and you can just ask them, who taught you that? Well, I saw it online, and it's like, all right, like let's forget that real quick and let's go back to what we've been working on and continue to move forward. So we don't do anything. We don't teach online. We don't take teachings from online. We try to teach on how um, we were taught baseball, and I lead the way on the baseball side as far as defense. I don't touch the swings too much, and then we're fortunate that Wei Yin Chin, who played in the big leagues for a long time as well, both of his sons play for me, and he helps multiple teams out with their pitching and teaching the kids and their throwing programs and stuff. So we're very fortunate to be able to surround the kids by some good people.
Yeah, I only asked that question because again, with social media being everywhere now and kids are exposed to it. I mean,
Right,
kids have phones these days in their hands, which is unreal. Because
right.
I know I can't speak for you, but when I was a kid, I didn't have a phone. So
No, I
uh,
didn't either.
yeah, so you learn the sport or baseball just from either playing it or just watching a game,
Right,
and not having to have this phone in your hand and go and scrolling through on YouTube. So that, I
right.
was wondering because kids, they get, they'll watch these videos on YouTube, and
Yeah.
they're trying to do what they're seeing on YouTube, and it's that's why as a coach, there's probably got to be a little bit of a challenge to implement those again the fundamentals and the basics of the game, because I feel like nowadays they've gotten away from that big time.
Yeah, everything now is, with what they're teaching in baseball is more skill-driven stuff, skill-driven activities. A lot of the kids don't understand how to play baseball or don't understand situational baseball. And you're seeing it at a higher level when you're seeing it creep into high school and college and pro ball, where you have these unbelievable skilled athletes that don't understand per se the game within itself. So that's what we're trying to teach the kids and advance them at a younger age, to teach them, more advanced stuff. So when they get older, it's not a question mark for them. They've already done it for multiple years, and they can step into any high school program and have a somewhat of a head start on that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And are you thinking about in the future? I know you're coaching right now. Are you thinking about coaching either at a high school, college, or even Major League Baseball level at all? Is that something that's in your future, or are you happy with what you're doing right now?
I don't know. I don't know what's in the future. Right now, we're doing this and we're helping the kids. I'd love to get back to Major League Baseball. Um, don't know if that's in the cards. Two kids and a wife and a big organization. I don't know um, if that's something that I could do. I don't know if it's something that would even be on the table from, an offer from a team. So for me right now, I'm just going to focus with the organization and the kids and my two boys, and just keep working hard with them.
Yeah, well, I could only imagine as a player, with all that traveling you had to do, and being away from family, because I know that is a lot of weight to carry on your shoulders when you were a player. So I'd imagine if you were coaching or managing at a coaching level, right? It's going to kind of be deja vu, right? You're going to be traveling all the time and
Yeah.
just busy all the time. You're not going to have time for your wife and kids. And I know family time is really important. So I know a lot of players that end up retiring from the game are just like, what, I'm done. I'm just gonna
Right.
sit back, relax, and just enjoy my time with my wife and kids, or and the family that I have around me. So
Right. No, it's true. That's a big thing. A lot of guys spend a lot of time away from their families. At the same time, your family's also, the ones that are on board. They understand that's what your life is, and that's what they're on board for.
yeah, and putting food on the table, right? So putting a roof
Yep.
over people's heads. I mean, yeah, and it's definitely not easy coming up and and getting to that level. I know, and I know a lot of guys like you, man. I'm sure you've had to overcome a lot of obstacles, and you're competing against like thousands of other guys that are trying to accomplish the same thing that you're trying to accomplish. And I'm sure it's just if you have like one little setback that could derail your career potentially. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
could. I mean, it potentially could. Yeah.
yeah, well, I asked that because I knew a guy that was he was a pitcher, and he was trying out to get into one of the minor league teams. I forget for which organization, but he said that he messed up his arm, but he didn't tell his coaches. He let his arm he let his rotator cuff go to ruins because he didn't want to like lose his spot. So because he ruined his rotator cuff, he couldn't make the team. He just played through it, but he didn't want to tell his coaches that. That's got to be tough for you as if something were to happen to you. Like,
I mean, it happens, and it happens at the major league level. You see a lot of guys that get hurt, and they're never the player they once were. But yeah, I mean, as much as baseball is skill and hard work, there's luck that is involved with all of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There is one. First off, how are you doing on time? I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful.
I'm all right. Yeah, I got a couple more minutes. Yeah.
You got a couple more minutes? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let me know whenever you need to go, man. Because like I said, you're trying to go hunting, so let's go hunting. Yeah. But there is another question here from one of the folks in the chat. This from Mike Lopez. He's asking, since he is an Angels fan, what's his opinion on the Mike Trout situation? Are we going to see another star like King, Felix Hernandez, stuck in an organization and never winning a World Series?
I hope that's not the case. The only thing I hope for Mike is that he gets healthy and he can get out there and play every day again. I think it's important for the game of baseball. I think it's important, mentally for him. I think it's important for the Angels and for the Angels fans to see him out there all the time. You're talking about a once in a lifetime talent that everyone loves to watch play, and a guy that plays hard, and he's a really good person, and and you want the best for this guy, and it sucks to see the injuries that have hurt him. So, and that I feel the same way about Anthony Rendon. Like, what a great person, a guy I played with, that he's been sidelined with big time injuries, and it just sucks to see guys that have these talents not to be able to showcase them. So, for Mike, yeah, I hope that he gets healthy. He's still a young guy. And I'd love to see him healthy. So, we could go to the Angel games again and see him out there in center field and have my kids, look up to him and see him, play the game the right way. So, do I think that it's going to be a Felix situation? I don't think so. And Felix had a hell of a career, so I wouldn't say it's bad. He was just never on a team that could do anything. So, it's not his fault, right? It's not his fault. He was supposed to be the guy that led him there, and he did his part. So, I'm hopeful for Mike. I'm hopeful for the Angels to be able to turn this around, to where they can have success, not just for Mike and the organization, but for all the fans that have stuck by their side for all the years.
Copy. Yep. And I had a little. I had our friend Nathan. He was saying, he put it in the chat, but he also was made a mention of today's apparently your wife's birthday.
Oh yeah, it's my wife's birthday. Yep, it's her birthday. We just spent the weekend together, and so she's we spent the last 3 days on a small trip together, and then I took off to go hunting.
Well, all right. Well, good. Yeah, it's a good thing you celebrated the birthday. Well, happy birthday to her.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to celebrate her birthday first, then go hunting.
Yep.
If you did the opposite, you'd probably be kicked out of the home. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty understanding about everything, so she's awesome. She's always supported me and everything. So
yeah.
That's a big reason why I get to go hunt, right? She's cool with everything I do, so she's awesome.
Yeah, you're going hunting starting tonight, or when are you going?
No. 2 days. We'll scout for 2 days, and then the season will start.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to go for some deer, elk?
Deer, elk's over. We'll go for deer, and then call it a hunting season out here.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Cool,
I
man.
hope. I hope. Yeah, I really hope you all catch something,
Appreciate it.
and bring it home and cook it up, eat it up. Elk meat, deer meat, all that stuff is good. I freaking
Yep,
love it. So,
I agree.
but yeah, yeah. But Danny, thank you for coming on, taking the time out of your day. I
Yep,
know you have a busy
of
schedule,
course.
so it's always great to have guys like you come on and talk to us. So I do
Cool.
appreciate the time. We'll love to do it again, and hopefully we'll get in touch soon.
All right, sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, Dan.
All right,
All
bye.
right, later. All right, folks. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that conversation. It was a good conversation with former Major League Baseball player Danny Espinosa. I do appreciate everybody who did tune in. So thank you all so much. So, a few things going on today, right? Juan Soto, he's supposed to meet with the New York Yankees. Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone are all supposed to be there. Soto has already met with the Mets, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays. So, sounded like they were all good meetings with them. So let's see what the Yankees do today. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any kind of deal or anything like that. I think it's just going to be this is probably going to be a little more of a introductory. So, let's see what happens. I might, you know what, guys, I might go live later and we could talk a little bit more about it. If not, I will be live tomorrow. I am supposed to be going live. I am supposed to be going live. Let's see. Later on today with Ace from the Ace Avenue. Sorry. I'm supposed to be going on live with him. So hopefully I'll see you all on his channel. But like I said, I might go live here in a little bit or a little later. If not, I'll go live tomorrow. Just hit that notification bell, so you don't miss when I'm going live. But I do appreciate everybody coming on. Shout out to Nathan for setting up this interview. So always a good time to talk with former players or current ball players. Hopefully, I get to talk to more. I know him and his team are constantly working on getting guests on the show. So I do appreciate them, and I appreciate everybody coming on. So thank you all for coming on. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everyone you know. Let's continue growing this channel out, folks. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Have a good day.